That's cool.
Take two.
Yep. Now we are not talking. We've run out of talking points.
Mourning the loss of the first episode.
Yes.
We've actually done 5 podcasts that haven't been recorded. One that was supposed to be recorded.
All right, before we get things going.
We will endure.
Yes, are we recording?
We are.
We are. Okay, hold on a sec. That'll be 4:58. Please pull up to the first window.
Fantastic, then.
Well, you know, I got to make ends meet somehow.
We got to roll with it. Welcome to Big Words I Know by Heart, a program of rants, raves, faves, pet peeves, personal vendettas, celebrity interviews, and anything else we can fill the half hour with. My guest today hails from Fairport, New York. He landed his first film role at age 10. Since then, he's been a stand-up comic. He's written over 3,400 screenplays, performed in over 24 movies, short films and commercials.
Yeah, the numbers on that are still a little bit off.
Still skewed?
Yes.
Still skewed. We'll get a third time around, we'll have it.
Well, I think we'll have it down by the time we do this for the 5th time. 5th time's a charm.
And was awarded a Western New York Fame Award for Best Short Film for Sociopathy, which he wrote, produced, and directed. He's on the executive board for the Rochester Association of and for Film Arts and Sciences. I'm pleased to welcome writer, actor, and director Shawn Essler.
Thank you, and thank you for having me again.
Thank you. Good to have you again. I'm pleased to welcome, joining us in the co-host hot seat is a man whose IMDb credits eclipse Don Cheadle's, Mr. Jason John Beebe.
Still with my sippy cup.
Good to have you back. Do you need a topper off on that?
I do, yes. No, I'm good.
It needs to be discussed. We shot this show first already, and it was lost to the ether. So.
Do you want me to do the Dukes of Hazzard jokes about the moonshine that?
No, it didn't work the first.
I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah, that joke. Like, I'm gonna waste my A material now.
So, shall we dive into the questions, Mr. Essler?
Sure.
Would you consider your short film Sociopathy to be a lighthearted rom-com gone horribly wrong, and do you have any plans to spin it off into a children's cartoon or epic prequel crossover with the kids from Message in a Bottle?
Well, that is exactly what's going to happen with it, and exactly what did happen with it. I worked tirelessly for 20 years in romantic comedies, and finally got to do one of my own, and they called it a psychological thriller. But the cartoon series is coming out this fall on CBS. It has the 2:30 to 3 o'clock a.m. time slot, for the kids.
It would pair well with, like, Flintstone Kids or Tiny Toons, I think.
Yeah, like a little chewable knife and gun.
Chewable knife. Jeez.
How would you describe your role in the upcoming film Grace is Gone, using only hand gestures? A Beetlejuice gesture.
That's totally where I got to.
You got it too?
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the film?
Well, it's a film. I'm a character actor, so I usually don't spend more than one day on on a shoot that I'm acting in. And I played a backwoods hillbilly with a couple of other actors I know, John Sindoni and Ken Rhodes. The film itself,
the famous Ken Rhodes.
Yes, the famous Ken Rhodes, as opposed to that Ken Shamrock guy who's top billed, and nobody's ever heard of this guy. UFC, is that something that they just made up?
Never.
Have you heard of this UFC?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't even know what it stands for.
Wasn't there some big UFC fight last week that everybody was all in an uproar about?
I think you're thinking of a Facebook post.
Am I? Moving on then.
Yes, let's move on.
You've got your 72-hour Mind-a-Movie horror marathon coming up next month. Does that involve telepathic neural networks, Clockwork Orange-style sensory deprivation tanks, or intrusive GoPros affixed to the hippocampus?
I'm glad you brought that up, Tom, because Rofus's Mind-a-Movie 72 Hours film competition
Deja
has
vu.
all that and more. Go to mindamovie.com to register and compete this year for loads and loads of cash prizes. Over $4 in cash prizes to be awarded this year. Though actually, it's actually closer to about 19,000 in prizes going to be
19
awarded.
grand?
Yeah.
That's a lot of scratch.
Yeah, actually this year we're doing a horror themed, it's much like the Buffalo 48 Fest, except it's 72 hours. We're shooting around Halloween, so everybody gets to shoot their horror theme.
I read somewhere that there's subgenres to horror now. Does that track with anyone?
There are probably about 25 subgenres.
That is an urban legend. I don't know where you guys came up with
Urban legend would probably be one of the subgenres.
something like that. But yeah, we have 25 picked subgenres of horror. Instead of choosing a broad genre like Western, melodrama, stuff like that, everybody's doing horror, and they get to pick like either cyber horror or teen horror or found footage, stuff like that.
The found footage, where do you stand on that, Jason? Big fan?
I'm a fan of found footage. So the thing with found footage is that people either...
This is funnier the second time around.
People either love it or they hate it. There's no middle ground. Most people I know are probably not a fan. I enjoy it. I enjoy the realism and taking the audience into that world. I like it. And I like things that are different. And that's still relatively, even though it's been around for probably 20, 30 years, I consider it different. It's more mainstream in the last probably 10 years, but in general, I still think it's kind of off mainstream, and I like that.
Have you ever considered creating a interactive CD-ROM of found footage?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Improv, you're not supposed to negate.
No?
You're supposed to roll with it.
Jason John Beebe can do whatever he wants.
I said my film was going to be a cartoon series because I didn't want to say no. You're not supposed.
I don't fit a mold, buddy. Okay.
No. You transcend all of it.
There you go.
All of it. Just transcend it.
Hey, I didn't say it.
Plus that mold would rip out the beard and hair and everything too.
There you go.
Mr. Essler.
Yes.
Getting back on track. Is it finally time for a mind-roasting remake of Gumby and Pokey directed by Guillermo? There we go. Guillermo.
Joaquin Pheonix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Jack in the Box
Joaquin Phoenix.
Is Jack in the Box Phoenix doing a Gumby and Pokey remake? True or false?
I did hear about that. I heard they got a 60 mil budget out from the foreign market, and rumor is it's going to explode in China.
I actually heard that too, like maybe about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Variety reports that the back of the horse in the Gumby and Pokey movie is going to be the corpse of River Phoenix.
Wow.
Late breaking.
That got morbid.
Yeah.
That got a little dark.
Yeah.
Real quick.
You're going to feel really bad if he drops dead in like a week from now.
River?
Yeah.
Comes back from
No,
the
not
dead?
River.
Yeah, he did say River Phoenix.
I did. That's
Did you?
okay.
Yes.
We'll get it the
Okay.
third time.
I thought you were just trying to pronounce Joaquin again.
No, I've given up
Hey.
on
Okay.
all pronunciation efforts for Mr.
Joaquin.
Phoenix.
Maybe we can take these actors' names and write them out phonetically for you before the show begins.
I need another teleprompter and a record button. So, considering your work with Rochester revitalization, which is easier for you? Flipping houses or flipping the script?
Flipping the script is a lot easier than what I do at Rochester Revitalization. What I do there, I don't actually flip the houses myself. The people I work with and for. Hi.
Hello there.
But it's a great company. It comes on the heels of the housing market crisis from 10 some years ago when all the vultures came out.
From such films as The Big Short?
Yeah, actually, they kind of discuss the housing vultures there too. They're real estate investors that get people's houses at auction or skim them out of significant funds to land their house and make way more profit than they should. What they do is they don't put money into them to rehab. They create rental properties or just sell them off for a quick gain. What Rochester Revitalization does is we do buy houses at auction when we have to, but we try and hit people up before they get to that point, before they get foreclosed on, before...
You're the good guys.
Well, yeah. I mean, I really enjoy what they're doing. First off, if you have a house in your neighborhood, 2 houses in your neighborhood that are vacant, your housing value is going to drop. That's what we do. We get the houses that are vacant, that people can't afford to live there anymore, stuff like that. We get those houses, we rebuild them, we fully renovate them, and then we sell them to people that are now back on their feet.
Would you be willing to do that for my shanty?
No, we don't tap into the Buffalo market. That's why it's called Rochester Revitalization.
If I move my
So you don't
fancy.
care about Buffalo is what you're saying.
Yeah. Headline, Shawn Essler doesn't give a fuck about Buffalo.
Well, yeah.
Your lack of words just said it all. Tom, next question.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Thank you for that, Jason.
well, yeah, why, my money's in Rochester, so.
Follow-up question. As a script doctor, are you the guy they call in to insert the commas and shit?
I am the guy that they call in to tell people where commas actually should be and a lot of other things like stop writing in the passive sense. Learn how to format your script. This doesn't make sense. Your first act goes on until page 70 and you have no second act. Oh, have you read scripts like that before?
Yeah.
Please stop with the 10-page long dialogue scenes. That's what I do in a nutshell.
What about the and shit?
What about the end shit?
Well, it really depends on the subgenre of film.
Do you insert any bitmojis into scripts that you're rewriting?
Well, generally,
Fair question.
That's why you're the host.
I would consider
Is it?
I would consider an emoji to be an unfilmable. So
How many words does that count for, though, is what I'm asking? The bitmoji.
the bitmoji, I would count it as one adjective and 2 bits of stupidity.
2 bits of stupid.
2 bits of stupidity.
Yeah.
What does that translate into film? Is that like a minute
It's
of
roughly
footage or
50
2 minutes?
cents.
It
It's
counts
old parlance.
as previously said, that counts as an unfilmable.
Okay, unfilmable. I gotcha.
That should actually be the name of your next film. Unfilmable, starring
My
Jason
next
John
film?
Beebe.
Boy, there might be a UFC fight up in here.
Produced in Buffalo.
Well, see, again, with the Buffalo.
Again with the
Why did you invite him there?
Because he's charming. I like Shawn.
All right.
Did you see
Yeah, I'm
Sociopathy?
charming.
Sociopathy
No.
is a rare treat.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on
It's on YouTube. It's on
Okay.
Vimeo. It's on the Sociopathy Facebook page. It's playing in the background of a couple porn films. You can see it just about everywhere.
How can you pronounce that but not Joaquin?
Sociopathy?
Yeah.
Joaquin is difficult.
Oh, you just
he was
did it.
raised in a cult.
You just did it.
They gave him a made-up, ridiculous cult name. It's not a name that's ever existed.
It's
Well,
a great name. So is River.
They gave him the name Leaf.
Leaf?
Leaf.
was his first
Yeah.
name?
That was the name he grew up with.
I do vaguely remember that.
I
Yeah.
learned something new today.
That's what he was billed as, Leaf Phoenix, when he was about 12 years old, starring in Space Camp. which
Pre-Gladiator.
neither of you two
Very
apparently remember.
pre-Gladiator.
When it comes to 80s action films, I look no further than The Wizard.
That was not in the first
That
one.
was-
No.
And that
I
was
bought
not,
that today.
That was
No,
not.
you didn't.
I did.
You did?
That's a Ralph
Wiz-
Bakshi film.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the 1991
Or Rock and Roll.
Fred Savage film, The
No,
Wizard.
we're
That's
talking
what I was thinking of. I saw that in theaters.
1970, probably late 70s, that animated movie. Fantasy.
Oh.
A lot of wizards. All right, let's get back on track. You worked on casting and locations as well as appearing in the film Tomorrow Man with John Lithgow and Blythe Danner.
No, again, no.
I'll give you the full question this time because I edited it before.
Okay.
Did you get to chat with Lithgow, and does he still consider The World According to Garp to be his best role? And did you ask Blythe if you could see where Gwyneth came from?
Well, I went up to Blythe Danner and I said, "Hey, Blythe," and she said, "Get off the set." But I worked with both of them, but I had actually speaking lines against John Lithgow, who was great, but being a character actor, you do not speak to leads like celebrities unless they speak to you first. We spoke a little bit, but I knew enough, unless he's talking to me, don't talk back. He said, "Hi, I'm John." I said, "Hi, I'm Shawn. I'll be your character actor today." And, after a few takes, he said, "Great job." I was like, "Great job to you." And that was it.
You made that part up, didn't you?
No, actually, that's exactly how it happened.
Okay.
Except for the fact where he was talking to me, that was some other guy. But I was about 50 feet away with binoculars when it happened.
Okay. Well,
So it kind of is like it happened to me.
but kind of not.
Yeah.
So that's a form of found footage then.
In that story, I'm actually taller, too.
And Lithgow's 17 feet tall in real life?
I had to stand on 3 apple boxes to still look a foot shorter than him.
What is he, about 6'3"? He looks like a
6'4",
tall. 6'4", wow.
Yeah, I was on, actually, the actress that was in Sociopathy, Danielle Smith. She was playing opposite me. She was playing my character's girlfriend. I can't really divulge too much about the scene, but we're talking to Lithgow, and both of us are very short people, and we both had to stand on 3 apple boxes to still be yay taller than John Lithgow.
I know Danielle Smith.
Yeah.
She's talented, and she has a good look.
Her and I have worked together on a lot of projects. Sociopathy.
She was the mom in Sociopathy?
Yeah, and she's also the mom/grandma in Grace is Gone, too. She actually gets to play her own son, who was in Sociopathy.
She plays her own son?
I caught that.
No.
That's a gender bender.
Yeah, I'm my
that's
own
versatility.
grandpa, too.
That's good.
No, her own son, Jordan, who appeared in Sociopathy along with her, she actually plays his grandmother in Grace is Gone.
That kid was terrifying in Sociopathy.
Yeah.
Good casting right there. Yes? No?
Well,
I haven't seen it.
You should.
I'm going to.
It was a little trick that I did, because he was new to the game.
You promise?
Pinky promise.
Sorry. Sure.
Well, no. What I did was, being a child actor, I gave him kind of flat dialogue, and that little essence of Children of the Corn. Just play it flat, lack of emotion, stuff, and it's that lack of emotion that kind of sells you on it.
I guess I should ask this again. Maybe you know now? How did you stumble onto Alison Bechdel?
Alison Bechdel, you're referring to a Twitter post that I made about 3-4 years ago.
Circa
Wow,
2015.
you have a great memory.
Yes, it's almost like I looked this up about 30 minutes ago about a Twitter page that I haven't used since 2015.
She won a Pulitzer for Fun
Yes.
Home. Everyone should know who she is.
Yes, but the Twitter post, which I haven't seen in 3 years or so, dealt with the Bechdel test, which...
You should get back on the Twitter train. It's big with the kids. The kids are cuckoo for that Twitter.
Yeah, I'm a
Cuckoo for the Twitter.
I'm a 40-year-old man with no kids. I'm not allowed to speak to children.
Fair enough.
Yes.
You need to be
Is that how that works? I wasn't aware of that.
It's just creepy.
Okay.
We got to just steer away from that whole mess.
So, like, no offering them candy, none of that?
Not anymore.
All right. 2018.
Do you believe that we live in a postmodernist, pro-feminist world or a pro-modernist, post-feminist world? And should I continue? I fucking lost it. Continue my sympathy strike menstrual periods.
Oh, well, it's like I had a really good answer for this before, but it's not coming to me now.
That would have been funnier if I didn't laugh.
Yes.
It'll be
First
fine.
off, I do want you to continue those premenstrual sympathy periods that you do, because stuff like that cracks me up. And I believe my response to the first part of the question is, I believe that we all live in our own worlds and try to present that, and online, it is blowing up in everybody's face.
Blowing up.
Yeah. That sounded a lot better the first time I said it.
That sounded sexual, actually.
Yeah.
You Rochester.
Well, it's just I reek sexuality.
The rivalry.
You do.
That is why I'm so popular. I mean, you
Suit it.
Yeah.
you got something like this. And
got all that.
this.
I'm actually hotter on my left side right now than I am on this side.
Yeah, I generate that.
Yeah.
Sean brings the bag of chips, too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nobody liked that.
Yeah.
In addition to an updated LinkedIn profile, what are the positives that resulted from your monthly networking workshop at the RAFLA?
One more time.
In addition to an updated LinkedIn profile, what are the positives that resulted from your monthly networking workshop at the Rochester Academy of Arts and Sciences?
The RAFLA, the Rochester Academy of Arts and Sciences. Please note that it's Rochester Association for Film Arts and Sciences. Well, what has resulted is people getting on board other people's projects. It's the networking workshop started a little over a year ago, May of 2017, and it was a program designed just for people to get together, have a drink, know other filmmakers. One of the hardest parts about getting started in film is knowing where the films are. And 90% of the projects I work on is because of word of mouth, people that I know. I like getting on sets, either as an actor or for whatever reason, and I get to know everybody that's on the crew, and I can import them into my films.
Steal them, essentially.
Steal them, yes. And you build film families that way. If you're new and you don't know anyone, this is a great spot to do. And it's also great for people that are making their own projects. you're making a film. Say, I need one sound guy and 2 additional actors. You go there, you're going to find a sound guy. You're going to find a couple actors or more.
Well, firstly, you should see if Jason John Beebe is available. And number 2, if you can afford him.
If you want to plug your day rate right now, feel free.
No.
Is it on a sliding scale?
I'm just wondering if I'm going to have to go through this whole pure energy description again, because it was perfect.
You will.
It was perfect the first time.
Well, yeah, but it needs to be 5 minutes longer.
Pure energy, what is that?
So Pure Energy is a comic book that me and my podcast partner came up with. He came to me like 3 years ago, presented this idea, and he wanted me to write a comic book. And I put it off for 3 years. Mm-hmm. I kind of told him
comic books, what are those?
I kind of told him yeah, I would, and I never did. So finally, nothing was said for maybe 6 months. He comes to me, says it again, and I just said, all right, I'll do it. And I did. I wrote a 24-page comic book, created this whole world based on his concept. And next thing I know, we've got people from Peru, South America working on it. A former artist from Marvel and DC did one of the covers. It's really going places, and it is complete. We just need to put it in book form, and my partners funded the whole thing, and we're going to do a Kickstarter pretty soon and see where it goes.
And where's that Kickstarter?
It has not been created yet, but it will be all over both of my Facebooks, and it'll probably be under Pure Energy Comic Book. And it's basically this post-apocalyptic world that every man, woman, and child for themselves, they've got to be in during nightfall in locked houses because the shit hits the fan at night. And we follow this teenage boy named AJ throughout the whole comic book, and he finds out a lot of things about himself throughout the whole process.
Lessons are learned along the way?
Lessons are learned along the way, yes.
Do you have a third act?
A third act for the comic book?
Yes.
You'll have to buy the first issue and just stay tuned for the next ones.
If I may say, in a totally organic manner, the artwork is dynamite that I've seen so far.
Yeah, thanks. It's coming together really, really good. It's like my partner is an actual comic book collector since he was a kid, so he's thrilled that he's going to be able to put his own comic book into his collection.
And the name of your podcast, because you didn't mention it the last time.
Igor's Monsterific Podcast, which is on SoundCloud. We've done almost 80 episodes.
Jesus.
Yeah, interviewed the director of Blair Witch and a lot of horror movie.
That found footage.
All that. Yeah, the found footage film.
Yeah. So it would have been weird if you said you hated found footage when the question was asked earlier.
I guess so, but I really do like found footage.
Yeah. It all comes right back around.
Yeah. Full circle.
Tell me about your time as a 15-year-old comedian and whether or not you included 7-Eleven Slurpee jokes, airline peanut-sized jokes, and the other hallmarks of early 90s stand-up.
Well, for me, I started, it was doing, I tried to get into film and stuff like that. It's a little difficult, when you're high school age and stuff like that, especially this is pre-digital. Mm-hmm. Shooting a film actually meant grabbing a Super 8 camera and shooting that, or you can have a non-film shot on camcorder, which I did a lot of. But I need to develop a voice, and my start was doing comedy. And by around the age of 15 or so, I started doing stand-up. I used to sneak out to comedy clubs, especially Hiccups, the old Holiday Inn downtown. And
we all know Hiccups.
Being in Buffalo, we all know Hiccups.
Yeah. So I used to be able to sneak in there. I don't believe it's still around, but
Hiccups?
It was never around here, actually.
No, that's because I'm from Rochester.
I know.
I started, working on my writing, which developed my performance and stuff. It takes quite a bit of time, especially with comedy, to find your own voice.
And polish 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yeah. By time I was, of legal age, I had a solid 12 to 15 minutes that I was able to do, and I grew it. I kept pushing out old stuff, putting in new stuff, and eventually worked myself, I think, at my prime. I stopped doing it when I was in my mid-20s. At my prime, I had probably a solid 55 minutes.
At 15 years old, are you writing jokes about, now and laters and first loves, or?
Well, no. What it was during this time, it was kind of the spawn of the alt comedy phase. And a lot of stuff kind of went along with that. If you remember stuff like Mr. Show or
Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall, yep.
Give me some love for Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff. I mean, it was stuff. Not necessarily mashing sketch with live performance and stuff like that, but it was a movement. It's kind of run its course by now, some 25 years later. But yeah, that's what I was involved with back in the day.
What movies are you working on right now? What's the best way to run a set on a micro budget, and do you prefer body wash or hand soap?
Okay, wow. Productions I'm working on right now.
See how that question came together, Jason?
I do.
Yes, I'll
Just
probably
threw it
need
in there
reminders.
too. It wasn't in the original.
Just tossed it right in.
It's getting stalled back due to
Doo-doo. It's a great word.
due to me being overly busy with the move and with Mind a Movie and everything like that. But I have a short film, a 10-minute kind of pseudo horror film that I'm going to be working on. I actually wrote it because my company that I work for has a beautiful Airbnb property in Pittsford, 5-bed, 3-bath. I saw this place, like, I gotta shoot something here because I have access to it.
Where was Expert Systems filmed, by the way? Your other short, which you can find on Shawn Essler's YouTube account. Shawn with a W. Am I right?
Shawn with a W. S-H-A-W-N.
Was that
because
in your
even just saying with a W, somebody's gonna misspell it.
Somehow.
People put numbers and stuff in my name rather than spell it correctly.
Starts with a C, right?
Yeah, something
They
like
don't
that.
put Bitmojis in there, do they?
I think somebody has spelled my name with a Bitmoji before. Actually, for record, Sociopathy was filmed in the house of Danielle and Jordan Smith, the two lead actors.
Expert Systems.
Waka waka.
though? Expert Systems.
That was actually filmed in the apartment I just moved out of.
Huh.
I don't always shoot at private residences, but when I do, I try to make the most out of them.
As you should.
As you should.
So, but the current film, it's actually my take on. I don't like with social commentary. I don't like trying to do stuff like, me as a 40-year-old white middle-class heterosexual male. This is what I think about this social issue. That doesn't work. And I tackle the aspect of exploitation films and violence against women in film. I don't try and go out there and say, because I watched this stuff all growing up. And kind of my mecca there is I'm trying to relay, this is what I think because I grew up watching this stuff and how this affects me now in this current time. It's not one of those things, if I was trying to be cheap and easy, I was like, it's wrong to exploit women in film. Women are great. You're bad. No, there's always a deeper side. I mean, there was
It's nuanced.
Yes, it didn't say this is right, this is wrong. It just says this is what it did to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is how it affected.
I mean, that's what art should be all about.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
So I didn't want to make like a Dances with Wolves, a white man will save us all type of film. I don't speak for anybody else besides myself. So.
Now, would you agree that David Fincher is the Stanley Kubrick of our generation, and when do you think he'll get off his ass, stop printing money, producing hit shows on Netflix, and make another film?
David Fincher is a David Fincher of our generation. He has done amazing work as a filmmaker. I'm not gonna sit here and fawn all over him, and we've argued about this, but I think he made the right decision going to television, and I think he picked the right time to get out of making films. Mm-hmm. The Hollywood market is about to collapse.
I will say the opening sequence to Mindhunter is probably better than most of the television that's out there.
Oh yeah. I mean that show was great, the way they handled everything. Mm-hmm. And it's the perfect time because television is booming again, and Hollywood is still working on this tentpole $200 million blockbuster thing. They have 40 blockbuster films coming out this year, stuff with budgets over $175 million. 40 of them. There's only 52 weekends out of the year. Mm-hmm. So each film only has 1, maybe 2 weekends.
Do you think there's a chance for the standalone Joker film with Joaquin Pheonix?
I think.
Who the hell is Joaquin Pheonix?
Is he any relation to Jokey Smurf? Or
They just discovered him. Joaquin Pheonix.
Tommy Wiseau.
Jock Itch Phoenix is the correct pronunciation.
Jock-itch.
For those listening at home.
I'm actually surprised that you can spell the word or say the word Phoenix properly, because that's a little creepy with the O and the E and stuff like
We're
that.
actually all out of time again, I think, unless we shoot again. See you in a month.
Did we
See ya.
record?
We did. We'll find out.